Today, on Head of the Yarra TV, we're visiting Sykes Racing's factory in Geelong to see where great Australian 8s are born and to find out more about what makes them go fast. The brand new production of a lightweight elite 8 here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this, Mark?
So this hull is probably our best performing hull. It's generally used by the schoolgirl level in lightweight 8s. It's won 2 of the last 3 national championships at schoolgirl level. It's a very stable, very fast hull, which is a lot of customers like it a lot. What you're looking at here is our first iteration of our elite construction layup, which is different to what we've done for many years, in that it's got what we call a flat toe material. People know this material as Textream, but this is flat toe, which is lighter and stiffer carbon. So the construction of the boat no longer has any of the Kevlars in it. It's a stiffer and more carbon boat in construction. You see some of this from the international imports, and the reason it's done there is that you can actually add more carbon in to make the boat stiffer. So this is the first iteration we've made of our elite construction for the 8s market, and it's going to a customer in West Australia. This is the new Sykes look in the interface between the deck and the hull and the mid-deck. It's a far more stiffer construction in here, a lot more rigidity with the carbon and the cores that are sitting here. And what we can also do is the way we've moved this deck interface forward, it enables you to have the bow-mounted carbon riggers, which we've been very successful in the smaller boats on, as well as the stern-mounted aluminium and carbon riggers. So this boat is generally, you can do anything on this boat. You can rig it with whatever riggers you want, with whatever stretchers you want, with whatever seats you want, and they're all interchangeable. And again, the difference that we like to think we've made here is you only need 8 riggers to rig an 8 in any setup you want. If you go and buy one of the competitive products out of Europe, you're looking at 12 riggers to get you to all the different setups.
So we can actually see what the fittings are like inside. So these are the Croker fittings?
These are, yeah, and these are all made in New South Wales, so we're very proud of these boats. Everything Australian manufactured, made in Australia, Australian businesses. These are the power boards, very simple, very universal, coach's dream. Essentially you can plug it in, everything is in one piece. They're very simply molded together, and kind of less room for movement is better for big boats.
The width is actually quite a useful one. Guys with big thighs actually quite often complain about the span that they have for the shoes, which is fabulous.
So this is 170. Traditionally it was always 150. So we've managed on the bigger boats to go to 170 wide, and then you've got an extra 5 on each of the shoes that you can go even further out, because there's a feature in those shoes. So we think it's a little point of difference, and again it's about the biomechanical setup of the boat and making it's everything's interchangeable, everything's easy to set up with a common tool, and it's comfortable, and we know that it's rigged. The seat to water, the seat to oarlock, and your feet heights are all almost perfect, we think, biomechanically. So
Now tell me a little bit about the construction.
This boat is a traditional Sykes construction layup, which is basically a painted outer finish, carbon fibre, aerospace honeycomb material for your cores, and Kevlar on the inside, with a lot of carbon reinforcing. So to get stiffness in a boat, you reinforce it in the keel and in the shoulders. And you can see on the shoulders here, there's quite a bit of extra material that's been added to give you the stiffness. So all the reinforcing is high modulus carbon, which is sourced out of Japan. The Kevlar is sourced out of Japan and woven in Europe. And then, yeah, so that's the whole construction. And then you come down to things like the deck. Again, that's pretty simple carbon. Okay, same high modulus carbon with a PET, so a more recyclable foam deck material that we have in here, and carbon on the underside. And the bulkheads are all carbon in our boats. So that enhances the stiffness of the boat. So yeah, generally the older style has got a Kevlar on the inside, so that when people drop things in the boat, you don't fracture the hull. But the elite level of the boat, which has got the checker plate carbon on, that gives you more stiffness, but obviously it's a little bit more brittle.
How many different styles?
We have three weight categories in our 8s. We have the 857, which is the lightweight. We have the 858, which is a midweight, and then we have the 859, which is a light heavyweight.
Okay, now let's talk about oars and connection to the water.
We represent Concept in Australia. Concept 2 is the oar of choice globally. At any major international competition, you'll see a significant majority of all athletes using Concept 2 oars, and we believe they're better. Here we have a set of sweep oars. It's a skinny shaft with a Smoothie 2 and a Vortex blade, and then just basically your standard suede grips on it. On this side, we've got a set of scull oars. These are scull oars which demonstrate a couple of things. It demonstrates the new blade which we have, which is the comp blade. So about 18 months ago, Concept 2 relaunched the comp blade, which has proved hugely successful in sculling and is starting to get some headway in sweep. It's a shorter, fatter blade, effectively, for want of a word, and with that comes the need to change some of the gearing on your shaft, as well as change the stiffness of your shaft because of the connectivity that you have with the water, especially in the catch. So just interesting, you have a look at the buttons, and you have the new what we call clams sitting on there, which allow you to adjust your oar whether you're in a four or a pair, just to give you your gearing, get your gearing right.
Okay, now tell us about your involvement on Head of the Yarra Day. And first of all, it's probably worthwhile noting that people who want to actually pick up equipment from you can use the opportunity of having trailers in Melbourne to basically pre-order and do things. Is that correct?
No, absolutely. I mean, rowing is a logistics business. Trying to get boats up and down the Hume Highway or out to Perth or out to South Australia or even to Tasmania can be a nightmare at times. This is an ideal opportunity for people to get space on trailers that are coming down for the Head of the Yarra to take all their new boats home. Okay?
And of course, with that long-term commitment to the Head of the Yarra, this is something that people can plan for in advance every year for November.
I mean, that would help us certainly, okay? And I mean, it's an opportunity which helps the clubs that are coming down to defray a bit of expense, but it also saves a bit of money in terms of delivery, okay? And saves us, having George and I driving up the freeway all the time.
So tell us about the start area. You're going to help out there, aren't you?
At the start, we'll have all our hire boats will be there on our trailer. That'll all be there the day before, so the Friday before the race, we'll be down there with our people. We'll be helping people set up. On the day of the race, we'll be down there as well with our spare parts set up, whether it's the van, whether it's the trailer, but everything will be there where people can get spare parts. If there was a bit of a, moment when you unwrapped your boat and there was something missing, we'd be able to help you with that.
Well, there might be a hot run on Head of the Yarra. The steering, bigger rudders, etc. to get around those bends.
There's more than the rudder you need to get around those bends. Anyway, and then what we're doing at the finish is, I said earlier, we collaborate with Bont on our shoes exclusively in our boats. Okay, so Bont will be providing the shoes, and in this year's Head of the Yarra, we're going to be showcasing their new quick release system as well. Okay, so the boats that we hire out will actually have the new Bont quick release system in there for people to test. Okay, so we're going to use that. So we're collaborating with Bont, and both companies will share a setup at the finish where we can talk about our products. We'll have some products on show for people to see, and the owners of Bont and myself and my team will be there to actually talk to customers about needs and answer any questions that people may have.
Fantastic.
Mark and George, we look forward to seeing you and Sykes Racing at this year's Head of the Yarra. Thanks again for your insights on rowing eights and on the manufacturing technology of your famous Australian racing hulls.